Hello, I'm Hurps, Director of Entrepreneurship for UTS, and this is another UTS Startups Confessions video where I talk to entrepreneurs that I respect deeply about what enabled them, what they did, what they got to either help other people to start or maybe scare some other people out of doing things. We'll see how it goes. Can I get a welcome round of applause from everyone here? Beautiful. Thank you very much. In 10 seconds, if I can dive straight in, because this is amazing, people need to understand what you've done. What is Craft Club?
Hi everyone. So Craft Club is a DIY kit business that I run, and our focus is making creativity accessible with really funky, cool DIY kits that help get the inner creative inside you out.
Okay. Okay, sounds good. I see people kind of Googling Craft Club right now or hitting the link below. But I'll ask that again because people really need to understand, what do I get from Craft Club?
So, I have an example literally right here of one of our products. It's a DIY rug making kit. This is the finished product. This is the finished product, but it comes in a box with everything you need to make your own rug. You do not need to be like an artist to get into one of our kits. And all of our kits come with like yarn, a needle to make it, an amazing like canvas that's pre-printed. And yeah, everything you need to make something that you're proud of and that you love for your home and your space. Yeah.
Okay. Beautiful. Mother's Day on the weekend.
Exactly.
What's your turnaround time on deliveries?
We're very fast. Very, very fast.
Yeah,
Don't worry. We can get it there in a Saturday morning, totally.
But to go back, who were you before starting Craft Club?
So I started Craft Club like a year and a half ago now, but before then I've kind of had a lot of pivots in my life and career before creating a business. I started out way back when studying accounting briefly, realized I didn't want to be an accountant, and then worked in fashion for quite a few years. I worked in buying and planning on like the retail side of fashion, which I really, really loved. I loved that intersection of creativity and like analytics. It was so much fun, but I realized after working in like a corporate place that I wanted to create something for myself. And then I decided after that to go back to uni, to UTS, to finish my business degree. And it was during that time, during lockdowns, when I kind of created Craft Club and had the opportunity to make my own business.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
First memories of the idea. So what was the first memory that you can recall?
The first memory was back in that first lockdown in 2020. I had more time, was at uni, I wasn't working part-time anymore because I couldn't, and I was looking for a way to get back into my creative self. I, have done art and was always into like knitting and doing other textile crafts, but hadn't touched it in a long time since working full-time. And I went to look at like Spotlight and Lincraft and went on their e-com store to see what I could find. And it just felt so, I don't know, it was so difficult to use. Their search function was terrible. I couldn't find what I wanted. And I was like, someone needs to like rehaul this. There's someone out there could make like the iconic for craft supplies and art and that kind of thing. And personally, I didn't have the expertise or the capital to do that. But I did realize there was like an area of that in the DIY kit space that I knew I did have an expertise in, and I could create something new and value there. Yeah, so that was like the first idea.
Okay, but there must be like other people out there that see that as a problem. What enabled you to say, I'm going to do this?
I think the enabler for me was just finding a way to be able to validate that idea really early on. It was obviously like a big task to tackle when you think about it, but I realized like, I could invest a little bit of my capital into trying cross-stitch kits. We actually sell like rug kits and cross-stitch kits, but cross-stitch kits came first, and they're a lot more affordable to manufacture. You could do a lot smaller runs initially, and then it was a great way for me to test out to see if like there was that space that I thought in the craft market and validate that early on. And so having that method really made the difference in being able to then like put all of my energy and time and money and everything into Craft Club.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as soon as people are starting to get enthusiastic, it makes the rest of it a little bit easier.
Oh yeah, once you kind of see it growing and you see like these small little wins, suddenly, your ideas are actually there in person and validated. It like gives you that excitement and energy to keep going and put the rest of your heart and soul into it.
Okay, beautiful. How do you even start to get something like this made?
So way back when I was trying to figure out like how do you manufacture, it was like literally Googling how to manufacture a product and doing the research on ways to do that. We manufacture in China. We have like a really good relationship with a few different factories that I found, and that was all done through like quite accessible ways of research online, and then like platforms like Alibaba and that kind of thing to reach out. There's obviously a lot of work that goes into it, from a negotiating point of view, from like a design point of view, especially if you want something that's not already pre-made and you're creating something unique. But it's a lot of time and energy that's worth putting in. Yeah.
Okay. So what did that first run look like? Was there a lot of money spent on the first run of runs of kits?
Well, the first run of our cross-stitch kits, I think I only put in like maybe a couple $1,000s maximum in that very first run just to test out. Like I wanted to find something that was quite low cost individually because I didn't want to spend, $30, $40 on each single kit. So I think it was a couple $1,000s plus, paying for our like Shopify membership and all of that kind of stuff. So I think comparatively it was still quite a small amount to test. If it didn't work, it was okay because I knew that I could go back to the drawing board and you still have learnings from that money spent if it didn't. So yeah.
Okay, cool. How did you build up the customer base?
It was slow going at first, for sure. So our customer base, predominantly on Instagram, but we used digital marketing like through Facebook and Instagram ads to grow that. I think now it's kind of one of those times where it's a lot harder to grow organically on social media. I mean, you do have TikTok for sure, where you can grow, but if we were only selling in Australia, it is hard to guarantee you'll get a viral video and then sell to people in the US. But so predominantly all through social media is how we've grown.
Interesting, but not TikTok focused.
No, I mean, we've made some TikToks and we're definitely going to spend some time and energy on there. But it actually worked way better just through Instagram and Facebook and stuff at first, which was awesome.
Okay, nice. How did that feel, just to get into the feeling of this, because that first customer, when someone hit the website and paid?
Oh yeah, that first customer that's not like your friend or your family is like incredible. Actually, one of our very first customers from the first month is still like a huge part of the community. She buys like so many kits and she's like helped me stitch things, and it's just awesome when you build those relationships with those people that have been there for a long time. It's so special.
But I like that, the kind of dopamine hit or whatever. If someone likes this, I need to keep working on this, and then having more and more people enjoy what you're doing. It must be a great feeling.
It is, it's fantastic. But also you start getting amazing new ideas from seeing what people really like. What I think will be the bestseller is probably not always going to be the bestseller. So talking to our customers, seeing what people love, and then learning from that as we develop new kits has been really important too.
Okay, cool. So that was 2021, the start?
Yeah, we launched in January of 2021. Yeah, so a year and a half ago. I mean, I was like creating the kits and the idea 6 months before that, but that's when we were live.
Okay, and what does that growth look like over the last year and a half-ish?
It's been, like looking back on it, it feels like we've grown so much, but that first 6 months was very slow. It's like that thing, it's so hard to get those first few customers, but then all those gains after that become easier and easier. So that very beginning point, because everything you do, you're learning, every single customer, obviously as you get bigger, you have more customers that are going to tell their friends, and it grows a bit more organically, but you definitely got to put in like the patience and the effort in those early days, which is tough. But after, I think around June, July, we obviously had another lockdown, so that was helpful for people wanting something to do. But also we launched our rug kits, which really changed the game because they were so unique, and that kind of grew us monumentally within a few months. Yeah, and since then it's been really incredible.
Okay, so doing that, were there kind of technologies that made things easier in terms of launching or growing this?
Oh yeah, I think what's kind of awesome for us is that everything we've used are kind of tools that are really accessible. Like we have a shop on Shopify, and we use digital marketing and social media that there's like a lot of information about how to kind of make a Facebook ad or like how to do that. All of our tools, like I use Canva to design things, which is so easy. And yeah, it's really great because it gives so many people the opportunity to give it a go and try an idea, and you don't have to be like a serial entrepreneur or have a huge backing to just give it a go. Yeah.
I like that. As someone with a tech background, I'm feeling less useful by the day. That was fun.
Don't worry, it's still useful.
I know the numbers at the moment, they're amazing, but where are you heading from here?
So we're growing a lot, and our big focus is broadening our horizons into new markets in the coming years. So we have a small amount of stock on the way at the moment going to North America, and we're launching in the US and Canada hopefully next month, if there's no delays, which is really exciting. And the next few years are all about growing into the US, growing into the UK, and being able to get that cadence of products, which takes a long time to do, be able to grow with our designs, grow with our categories. I'm really excited though.
How do you start to do that? Because as you get bigger and bigger, you've got larger and larger stock supply requirements.
Yeah.
Advertising spend, all the other things. How do you kind of level up that?
It's tough. It's definitely tough to grow. For us, it's like every single dollar that we make in profit goes like straight back into the business, straight back into growing. We have invested, I've invested my own savings into Craft Club. Initially, after I tested it and saw that it worked, I was like, okay, I'm gonna give it my all. When I am at this age, it's the right time to risk it and see how it goes. And we've used things like Clicko and other kind of financing for businesses as well. But when you're young, it can be hard sometimes because obviously the access to capital you have if you've only been running a business for a year and a half is small, and it takes a while to keep growing that, and you kind of run out quickly. But every single time we do a drop of kits, we usually sell out fairly fast, and we have pre-orders going. And so every single time we're able to buy a little bit more and grow, which is really exciting.
No, I like that. I like also you're not too dependent on a particular platform.
No.
Like Amazon Marketplace people, where Amazon cuts off the tap and they're sitting on a pile of stock.
Exactly. It's really good to be able to have our own control in that way. And we want to do that as we grow in the US and UK too.
Okay, this is amazing. So there's proving out there's this many people, particularly in Australia, that care about this, taking this to other markets now.
Yeah.
It sounds like you can tackle this without any help, but is there anything you're looking for from people that might be watching this around, can they be part of this?
Yeah, I mean, look, we can definitely go it alone, and we're going to keep growing the way that we have. But I think when you have partners and investors and anything like that, you're able to supercharge that speed, which can be really exciting, especially when you know that you've hit something amazing. We've seen it's been mind-boggling to see so many people so supportive and love our kits, and so we're just really excited to get them out there to more eyes around the world.
I'll also say we're in UTS Startup Central, so we've got 50,000 people a week walking past here. Craft Club gets the most people stopped causing accidents outside because of this how eye-catching and the broad demographic of people that find it interesting. So there's something going on there.
They're show-stopping rugs.
Examples behind us. I'll finish up with how has this changed you as an entrepreneur over the last couple of years?
Oh, I feel like I've grown a lot in the year and a half that I've had my own business. And I think a lot of that, especially as a female founder, I'm sure a lot of women can relate to that feeling of when you're growing up, maybe society doesn't always teach you that you should be the one to raise your hand for opportunities. You should trust your voice. a lot of the time we're taught to like second guess ourselves and, you know, not go for that job because we might not have all the skill sets, or, you know, not try that business idea because I don't know what I'm talking about and I haven't run a business before. But yeah, having this business has taught me a lot about confidence and a lot about how you should just put your hand up. And if the opportunity doesn't work out, then that's okay, but you've still grown and learnt, and the next opportunity will. So, yeah.
Okay. With that in mind, looking down the camera, if you could give yourself some advice 2 years ago and other aspiring entrepreneurs out there, what would it be?
Oh, the advice to myself would be to not listen to that like niggling sense of self-doubt. I think there's a time and place to like be reflective and, you know, be critical of what you're doing and make sure you're on the right path. But so often it can be like imaginary fears of failure that hold you back. And especially with a small business idea, why not give it a go? Why not try it? Why not tell people what you're thinking? Because the worst that could happen is you have to like tell your mates that like, oh yeah, that thing I was doing, I'm not doing it anymore, but I have another idea. And that's really not that bad. It's way worse in your head than you think.
Yeah, and you'll have craft kits for everyone's birthday for the rest of your life if you need them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Everyone is getting craft kits forever.
Yeah, but it's incredible to see the progress in the last 2 years. This is ridiculous growth. You are going to take over the world. I hope someone watching this video can be part of that, taking over the world on this. Thank you so much for sharing the journey on this. We're going to turn off the camera and go to Q&A from the audience, so we're going to get into the juicy part of this. For anyone watching, every Friday at 3:30 we run sessions like this at UTS Startups Central. Come and join if you want to see the really juicy part of the interviews. But please, everyone, join me in thanking Nakisah.